systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the SHIPIT Nation Week 2 Cash Game Show. Hopefully everyone found success. Week 1 in the cash game streets, really soft pricing like we talked about last week, but we'll kind of be following the same format this week, kind of go through each site, each position, see what we can find. The big talking point last week was clearly the super soft pricing. You'll be able to make a team that is all-star like, and that was the case. So as always, joined by my guy Title. Any initial thoughts here for week 2? Anything you noticed in week 1 that you want to touch on?
Copy and paste kind of from week 1 in terms of you should kind of feel like your team's an all-star team, at least relatively speaking, when you build your cash lineup. Pricing is extremely soft on both sites. We'll kind of gravitate to similar builds, but I mean, man, as last week, like when we talk Friday, a lot can change going into Sunday. Coach speak, projections, like touch projections, etc. The McCaffrey stuff looked like a stone cold lock on Friday. Obviously, we did know that the injury was a little concern, and yeah, I mean, it just didn't. With so many good plays and 12 games on the slate, like we had last week as well, like the iffy-ish plays where their floor isn't as safe as they might otherwise be, like a couple projection points can go a long way when you're comparing pretty much all the elites, which is what you have on a 12-game slate outside of the primetime games. So, yeah, I think it's pretty similar in the fact they're going to be decent amount of chalk, but there's decisions to make on both sites as well. So, pricing soft, though. Yeah,
pricing is soft, and I just have a feeling that's probably going to be the case for the majority of the season. I mean, I have quarterbacks up for DraftKings, and Josh Allen is $7,100, and Lamar Jackson is $7,000 flat. Like they should be 9,000, like to make things interesting and make some decisions. So I'm assuming probably going to be pretty soft for the remainder of the season. And it's not that hard to fix it. I mean, just bump this up a little bit, but they obviously have a different agenda where, you know, if it's easy to make teams and all the teams look great, people are going to enter more contests. That's, I'm assuming, their business model. And I guess
I wonder how true that is. I mean, that has to be the business model and make sense. Like some random that's throwing one team in. But I mean, are you why are you catering to that one person making a $5 single entry on the shit? You know what I mean? Like
because they build that one team for a $5 single entry, and they're like, oh man, well now I'm going to play it in another $5 single entry because it looks so good, and maybe I'll push it and go into the $10, and then the people that are playing for 300, like, man, this looks so good. Now I'm going to play for 500. I do think there's definitely
probably right. I mean, because the people that are playing the money, like us, I mean, we're playing whether it's soft, tight, this, that, like they don't have to worry. So yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it makes it, I don't know, we'll go through and see. I haven't looked at FanDuel. Maybe it's a little bit different. I'm assuming probably not. Although, like we talked about last week, they did do better last season than DraftKings did with the pricing, especially the skill position guys, like the top running backs. They got them up there. The wide receivers, they got them up there. But yeah, we'll hop in, talk through it. Appreciate the support, though. If you could hit the like and subscribe on this channel, helps us out a lot. And obviously, I'm going to pull it up here in a second, but you can see in this top corner up here, SHIPIT games set right around $80,000 we're giving away. That can only go up. And if you are a member at SHIPIT Nation, you're automatically enrolled. We just gave away ticket number 6 and 7. You get in now, you'll be eligible next week to get into the SHIPIT games. You're automatically in, and then you have a chance to win one of the 50 golden tickets. So head on over shipitnation.com, check it out, and there is a link where you can actually, if you click on this right here, you get all the information. Maybe I'll click on it real quick so you guys can see it. Here are the winners so far. The 2 new winners haven't been announced yet. As of right now, top prize looking at $20,000. That can only go up. Based on this game right here, game number 2. where we are playing in at least a 333 Wildcat. This week it's the 555 milli. So let's say the winner of game 2, or whoever wins drawn for game 2, wins the milli. This number right here turns into $579,000. And then we're talking like real live final sort of money. So hoping to get some of that excitement along the way. But either way, if you're a member, you're in. There's nothing else that you need to do in order to enroll. All right, let's get into it. We'll start on DraftKings. We'll start at the quarterback position. Already kind of talked about how soft pricing is, but give me the name of a few guys here that are in the cash game conversation on DraftKings.
Because pricing is so soft and we have the studs really back on the slate, the running quarterbacks, I think you can go all the way up pretty easily with Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. I'm going to throw in that conversation too. I mean, you can't really draw up a better matchup this week for Burrow. Perfect bounce back spot for him in the offense. The reason, like, I prefer Josh Allen, Lamar if I have the 400 and 500, just that rushing upside, that one play ability to get it done on the ground and flip over the whole slate. But if I don't have the 400 or 500 and I really like my lineup, I'm good playing Burrow this week. I really struggle to see them struggling again at home against this bad defense. Highest total on the slate, 49.5. Bengals implied for some of the most points, around 27. So I think it's one of those three, or you're just saying I'm going to completely punt quarterback with Mac Jones, who is mid-price 4K. Brock Purdy, not expected to play this week, expected to miss like 2 to 5 weeks. You can put that filter above San Fran if you want to. Right there. 4K Mac Jones, 15.3. Again, if you build that, you can get a pretty much all-star team. He gets 15. Lamar Jackson gets you 25. Like you're not drawing dead. So I would build teams looking both ways and just decide what you like more at the end of the day. Right now, if the slate locked, I think I'm playing a Lamar or Josh Allen because pricing's soft enough where I feel a lot better about the floor ceiling combo. But at the end of the day, I mean, Mac Jones he doesn't have Kittle. I think Jawan Jennings should play. That's one interesting, I guess it would bump up Mac Jones in a sense. But man, you're getting the Saints, one of the worst teams in the NFL. You're getting a dome. They're still implied for 23. It's not like Mac Jones is making his first NFL start. He's been there and done that. Again, right now I'm leaning spending up, but I'd be lying if Mac Jones wasn't in play at 4K, as it gets you a completely different build. You're on mute.
It's rough start, but that kind of goes to the talking point before where pricing is so soft. If we're talking like a slate where there are some close to 10K guys at running back or wide receiver, playing Mac Jones, makes a lot of sense. Where if he goes out there and gets you 10, 11, 12 fantasy points, you're good because you got player X that was super expensive and went off for 25. But there probably are some paths to playing him at 4K. And what you're hoping for, obviously, is you play him, he doesn't completely bust, and these guys up top don't absolutely go off for like 30 plus fantasy points. You're hoping they stay in this 20 to 25 range where they're kind of projected at. So that'd be the mindset with playing a guy like Mac Jones at 4K flat. Let's flip over to FanDuel, see if it's any different over there. Quarterback, we'll just kind of sort it by price and see. Josh Allen, 88. Lamar, 85. Hurts, 83. Burrow, 8K flat. The running quarterbacks do have more of an advantage for sure on FanDuel without the bonuses. Mac Jones only 6K, and the 4K price tag on DK I think does more than the 6K on FanDuel, but it's definitely geared towards running quarterbacks the way the pricing is set up. So are you looking to stay up top, or what's the plan over here?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I think the 3K difference on DraftKings goes farther than the 2.5K, 2K, etc. on FanDuel. Like right now, I guess if I had it most optimal, because it's that 300 difference with Josh to Lamar and FanDuel and only 100 DK. Like if I went Lamar, FanDuel, Josh, DK, I don't always do stuff like that, but I do in close situations try and mitigate my risk a little bit and diversify on both sides. I think it's a spend up quarterback though. I think it's Josh, If you have the money, Lamar, I mean, I pretty much view him the same. I guess the only reason I feel a little better, I don't even know if I do. He's more likely to get pushed. Like Fields and the offense actually looked decent last week. Whereas, man, the Browns are going on the road against Baltimore, who's definitely a little salty after that loss. I mean, that defense probably got reamed out. It's just easier to see them push. I don't want the third, fourth quarter where they're just handing the ball off to Henry every single time. But I can't think about it like that. Lamar can get there in a half. No strong lean between Lamar, Josh Allen, and then again, if you don't have that 500, 800 for Burrow, I'm totally fine playing Burrow this week. I think it's a smash spot. Tournaments, I'll definitely be going back as well.
All right, let's talk running back.
Field 7-6. It's too close to those other elite guys. I think the floor is so much lower. 7-point underdogs at home. It's a tournament play, but I think you're given. It's just not needed. The risk reward isn't needed in 50-50s double ups.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I was pretty high on Fields coming into the year, so I mean, happy to see he had success in week 1, but I don't think the Steelers are very good. I could be wrong, but I mean, it's tough to take away what he did in week 1 and kind of expect it. And it's not much of a difference to just get up there. It's $1,000. I mean, when we go through the running backs and wide receivers, you're going to see that it's going to be. I just don't think it's necessary. It's at 7-6. Running back, I guess kind of the big news this week is going to be McCaffrey without any, no Kittle, no Brock Purdy. They probably lean on him. They lean on him just about every single week. He's the highest projected guy. We have him slightly ahead of Gibbs. If you sort by value, he's the top value. Gibbs is right there. Pollard and Hubbard are the top guys when we sort by value. What are you seeing at the running back position on DK?
Lock in CMC. I mean, he should be maybe 9.5K. And I don't even know if I'm joking. I mean, his role this year, no Brock Purdy, but again, Mac Jones he's an NFL quarterback. He's played quarterback in the NFL. There's a lot of bad quarterbacks out there. He's someone that especially he's going to rely on, especially without Kittle, the tight end in the middle. He's going to rely on his safety valve, and that is CMC. I mean, you could see CMC catching 5+ passes, 20+ rushing attempts, favored to score. It just is a complete misprice. Don't overthink it. Play CMC. After that, I think it kind of depends on, are you playing Lamar? Are you playing Josh? Or are you playing Mac Jones? That'll determine kind of what range you're living in. Like if I'm spending up at more running backs, one that stands out is Chase Brown at 6'8", Achane right there at 6'9", JT there at 6'7". I think JT's my least favorite of the three because he has the toughest matchup by far against Denver. Achane, I like him. I mean, the usage was phenomenal. He's going to continue to catch passes out of the backfield. But that offense is just a lot more concerning to me than Chase Brown, especially, again, I just talked about the Burrow stuff, the nut matchup against Jacksonville. 6.8K Chase Brown looks like a very good price, and he has many ways to get there. Again, I'd be fine with Achane too. The roll's great. Just hope they don't get down, 30 or whatever it was like last week, and he can be involved a little more. If you're going down a little more, Kyren Williams looks good against Tennessee. Going down a little more from that, Tony Pollard, Alvin Kamara. I'm not going to say ETN. I probably need to see it a little more there. But Pollard without Spears is going to continue to be a good play. 5.9K only for a pretty much workhorse back. I'll take that. Again, if you're spending at quarterback, Pollard is my RB2, RB3 I'd be fine with. Kyren Williams, again, a workhorse on that same and the other side of the game. And I just don't think you have to go really below that. Like if you went CMC Pollard, Kyren, if you want to play 3 running backs, we'll get to receiver. Tight end, there's one guy in particular that's very cheap. You can still play CMC, pick one running back, really any price tag, Lamar Jackson, then you'll punt tight end, you'll probably punt defense, and you can still make a good team there. So right now I wouldn't go below Pollard.
Yeah, 5,900 for Pollard showing up, like I said, when you sort by value, showing up as one of the better values. I mean, this is one of those situations, probably depends what you do at quarterback. If you're playing an expensive quarterback, Pollard's probably looking like a solid candidate for RB2. If you're going cheap with the Mac Jones route, 4K at quarterback, you can probably play two studs. That's how it's going to work. What you do at quarterback probably dictates a lot. Let's flip over to FanDuel running back position and see if it differs in any way. You sort by projection. Highest guy is McCaffrey. And every site's going to have McCaffrey as the highest projected guy just because the potential for a massive workload. Sort by value. If you like Pollard on DK, I imagine you're going to love him over here on FanDuel. 5,900 for him. Hubbard 6,400. So there are cheaper options on FanDuel opposed to DK, where it seems like the pricing is pretty condensed. So what are your thoughts here running back for FanDuel?
Yeah, I think those top two values we're staring at, CMC, like again, 8-9's a lot more appropriately priced, but he's still too cheap. Like I'm probably playing him at 10K until he gets injured. Just play McCaffrey every week. He's that guy. Pollard, that same price as DK and FanDuel. I mean, you get 50K on DK, you get 60K on FanDuel. Just shows how mispriced that is. So those are the first two I'm plugging in, and then after that, again, Chase Brown really stands out to me. 7.5K. I just love that game. I'll be playing a lot of it. If you're not going there, it is tough. I mean, like Kamara, I'm fine with, but I do like his full point PPR. His price tag a little better on DK. Kyron's fine, but 8K is a real price tag. I'm not sure how much I can go like CMC Gibbs, CMC Henry, that is spending a lot of money. Like Achan, I think maybe because you get a little savings. Again, it's a little more scary. I always prefer him on full PPR sites. Jalen Warren, all the way down there at 58. If you want to completely save, it's scary though. Kenny Gainwell got a lot of work in Pittsburgh. Seattle's a good defense, should be low scoring. It's tough. Wide receiver or running back 3's open, and usually on FanDuel I tend to lean more running back 3. Chase Brown, yeah, like you have it right there, would be my favorite, I think, right now. I just want to attack that game environment.
Yeah.
So CMC, Pollard are my two favorites, and probably Brown.
Yeah, highest team total. We're let's see. So I have this I want to pull up our projections. We have Chase Brown like a little lower, which I disagree with. Like he's, we have him projected at 12.5. That's not. I would project him higher than that, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And 7,500, and you get exposure to probably the best game environment. I mean, highest total on the slate, especially if you're not playing Burrow and you're not playing Jamar Chase. Like Chase Brown to me seems like a solid option because you get exposure to that game and the highest or one of the highest projected offenses on the slate at right around 27 points. So let's check out wide receiver, and we'll start on DraftKings. And yeah, this is some sort. I'm going to switch this over. Hang on, that's a very inaccurate projection, I would say. All right, so we sort by projections. Wide receiver, you got Jamar Chase 8,100, CeeDee Lamb 7,800, Neighbors 71. The three highest projected guys, Puka right there as well after a really solid performance in week 1. Sort by value, and Hollywood Brown shows up. And there's a comment in the chat in regards to that. And I'm assuming Worthy's out. Hollywood Brown 5,200 seems like a very yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, Worthy came back to practice. A little surprised. I'd be surprised if they rolled him again this week, but it is a big game.
Yeah. Jennings is up here at 48, assuming he is in. Tyreek Hill, 6,400. Probably more of a tournament option after what we saw out of that offense last week. Just absolutely terrible production. But I guess to me, the one thing that stands out is if you have the money, Jamar Chase, get exposure to that game. And then assuming Worthy is out, Hollywood Brown at 52. I mean, he got peppered last week. Seems like a solid option. What do you got here for wide receivers on DraftKings?
Yeah, I agree with that. 8.1K for Jamar Chase, I think, is too cheap at the end of the day. There's builds. You can go CMC, Chase, spend up quarterback. And then, yeah, I mean, that seems pretty safe to me. You're starting with a lot of big scores, it feels like. If you're going Mac Jones, I feel like you're almost surely going Jamar Chase. Below Jamar Chase, though, is Puka Nacua. I mean, his usage, that Rams offense, it looked pretty in sync, Matthew Stafford and Puka. Full point PPR site, a site with 100-yard bonuses. Puka continues to be that guy. Below him, I mean, Brian Thomas, it wasn't great for him last week. Kind of ran bad just with how the whole game script and stuff played out, but should be trailing against a bad Cincinnati team. The highest total of the slate, complete stud, 6.7K. I think Brian Thomas is very much in play. Going down, if you are like spending up and you find yourself in more kind of a dead range, the low 6Ks, two guys, JSN, T. Higgins. Maybe I can even throw 3 in Zay Flowers. I'm hesitant to say Zay just because of how big of favorites they are and how quickly that game script can change. But man, in games that you think Baltimore is going to be competitive in, Zay is clearly Lamar's guy. Pretty much is the only one that can win one-on-one coverage with speed.
Sure.
Like that offense is so talented. He's going to be in for a lot of big games. Not sure cash-wise. I prefer, like, JSN just feels a lot safer. The game environment isn't great, but his target share was just absurd. Like, they want to run the football first in Seattle. It's clear with Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. But when they do throw, there's not many other options, and JSN always seems to be open. So, yeah, I'll embrace that price tag on a full PPR site. T. Higgins, too, at 6-1. Like, it's close for me. If I'm playing Jamar Chase, I'm probably more likely to go JSN there. If I'm deciding, if I'm not going Chase, maybe it's a little closer and I go Higgins for exposure to that game. But, yeah, it's a really good price tag, a really good game environment. Something I'm interested in continuing to go down, like Tet McMillan, 5.4K. Going right back to him. I mean, the air yards, everything was in check for him, even though Carolina didn't look very good. They're playing in a dome against Arizona. He was clearly wide receiver 1 on that team. He's someone I want to play at that price tag. Hollywood Brown, 5.2. If Worthy's out, I think you just play him for the most part. Yeah, he got absolutely peppered. Even though his ADOT, a lot of his stuff was really close to the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter when you're getting 12, 13, 14 targets at 5.2K. So I like that a lot. Then the last two guys I'm looking at mainly, Calvin Ridley, 4.9, Chris Olave, 4.9. I mean, man, what a bad drop for Ridley. I don't know if you saw like Cam Ward's dad's reaction or something. It was brutal. He got absolutely no help, but he is no competition for targets. You see that the Rams expected to push that game a little bit. Cam Ward's probably dropping back. Who do you prefer between Olave's numbers are really good as well. I mean, it felt like he was in the medical tent every other play, but he still got 12 DK points. Air yards were good in a dome. Do you have any lean on those two?
Probably Ridley, but I mean, it's the same concern with both of them, the quarterback play, right? I mean, if these guys were in a different sort of quarterback situation, they would be absolute locks at 4,900. The risk you run with these dudes is the guys throwing them the football, and I'll probably, if deciding between the two, I'd go Ridley, but one other guy in this
playing
range.
Pollard, would that change? Just say I've already played Pollard.
For sure. Yeah, I do not want 2 skilled players from Tennessee. Like, no chance that I want to go that route. What about Pittman though? Any interest there? Is he with some dudes?
The problem is the matchup's so much harder with Pittman. Like, I respect a lot of Denver, and he has a little more target competition. The fact of they're going to want to run the ball with JT. I think that's clear. And then the downs situation as well. Like, Ridley just has no one. Like, Olave has Shaheed deep, but it feels like they're the clear one option with a little easier matchups. That's the reason. So I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Because he's right in the I was looking at the FanDuel price at 6.3. Is he right in
he's 5.1.
So yeah, right in that. I still prefer Ridley and Olave if choosing right now.
Yeah.
It is tough though, man. Like, I'm usually I definitely trust projections a lot on teams that are so concentrated like Tennessee. Like, I'm not ruling out I go Pollard, Ridley, but yeah, it's not fun to stomach 2 things like that. I did at Browns earlier in the year, or week 1. I played Judy and Njoku. I felt like I had one other one, but I don't think I did. And even that was like, ugh. Yeah. Like, I know they're throwing the ball, but being too heavily exposed on, like, they're implied for 18 points.
Oh, exactly. You look at the team total, and it is sickening. Especially, it's like you can stomach it a little bit more if it's like a PPR sort of guy or something where they don't need to score points. But yeah, it's tough when you start looking at some of these offenses and double dipping essentially on them. It's like, man, I don't really want to be there all that often.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Over on FanDuel, got Jamar Chase at 9K. Got Puka 84, Monroe's in there at 8K, Neighbors 77, Brian Thomas 76. If you're spending, you're probably spending on Jamar Chase. Sort by value, Hollywood Brown 6,500, same thing as on DK. Assuming if Worthy is out, Hollywood Brown seems like a really solid option. McMillan 57. Way too cheap, way too cheap. I think he's a elite play. Zay Flowers at 63. Maybe it's Zay. That's a really low price tag in my eyes. Where even if they do beat the shit out of Cleveland, like at 6,300, he really doesn't have to do that much for cash. So that's definitely an appealing price tag. I will say some of these values look better over here opposed to on DraftKings.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much touched everything that I was going to say. If you want to spend up, you do have the Chase. You have Puka, you have Brian Thomas. I do think Malik Neighbors has a better price tag on FanDuel than DraftKings. I mean, I know he does. 7.7K. Another guy that's target share, looks phenomenal in a dome against Dallas. He looks good. Yeah, like you go down a little farther, like T. Higgins, I think is fine. We talked about Hollywood on DK. I think he's strong on FanDuel. He is stronger on DK, though, because of that full point PPR. But yeah, that Zay Flowers price at 6'3", Tet McMillan again at 5'7". That looks really strong. Calvin Ridley again, 5.6K. Like, I just don't see why we got to go below the Tets and the Ridleys. That's clear wide receiver ones on their team at just silly price tags. And that's why locking a CMC, spending up at quarterback on FanDuel, like, it's pretty easy to do. Because to be honest, I'm fine if my highest of my three receivers is Zay Flowers at 6'3". Like Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, Tet McMillan, wide receiver one, wide receiver one, wide receiver one. Like I'm good with that. And again, I mentioned the other spend up options up top as well. So variety of different ways to go. Like last week, I think wide receiver on FanDuel probably determines whether you win or lose.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and fire them in there. We'll cover them at the end. Talked about the tight end position a little bit. You said there's a potential cheap option for cash. We'll see if I can figure it out here. Boom. We'll sort by value. Well, I know who I like. Jake Ferguson at 38. That's my dude. I don't know cash eligible or someone you're looking at. But man, that seems like a very cheap price tag he could have had 2 touchdowns last week. Yeah. One bad pass and one kind of drop. At the top, you got the spends in McBride at 6K, Kelsey 5K. I guess they're really not even spends with this super soft pricing. Warren got absolutely peppered last week. I think 9 targets, 4,500. A lot of cheap options here. I mean, if you're spending, it's probably McBride. I guess he's really the only guy that you can spend on. It's McBride, but a lot of dudes mid 4s and below that I think are probably in play. So what are you thinking here?
Yeah, Harold Fandon's the one guy that right now would definitely be on my teams. He played 72% of snaps for the Browns. He even got a handoff. He was lined up in the slot a lot. Like,
was he playing over in Njoku, or are they playing the same time?
A lot of 2 receiver sets. They're using Fandon as almost like a slot receiver to an extent. I mean, yeah, they gave him a handoff. Just the usage on Fandon was one of the most promising things we've seen from anyone in week 1. And a team that's trailing like 10.5 point dogs that it's going to have to sling the ball. 3.1K just opens up so much. So he's definitely there. I don't think he's a stone lock. And I also will say, and I don't know if this is a hot take, I think 2 tight ends are in play this week. And a lot of that has to do with just McBride's price tag at 6K. It's silly. Like, this is a wide receiver one. We're talking a normal, like if he's a wide receiver price tag, we have Ridley at 4.9, who's definitely way too cheap. Hollywood 5.2. You're comparing him to JSN at 6K. You're comparing him to T. Higgins at 6.1. I truly do not even know what I have a lean on, but it's really close. That's why I say 4 receivers are in play. 2 tight ends is definitely in play for me because Fannin at 3.1, that's below the running back mid or the min salary at 4K there. There's no wide receiver that's even close to viable or getting that usage in that low tier. So you completely punt a tight end. And then again, I don't look at McBride as a tight end, so I'm good playing him. I'm also would be good playing a Kelsey, maybe Warren. I think I'm a little more interested in Warren on FanDuel than DK, but I don't even know. Like that, like you said, the usage, the targets, how bad that game script was with him still getting that stat line was very promising and something I want to play in tournaments moving forward. Tight end's really good. I think if you play Fannin at 3-1, it opens up so much for you. And from there, McBride's very much in play. I don't think we need the Juwan Johnson, who also, again, usage was phenomenal. Not sure we need a double punt tight end this week with how soft pricing is. But, yeah, McBride's price is absolutely silly, and Fannin's price stands out very much so.
Yeah, I'm still drawn to my boy Fergie at 3,800. 3,800. I think that I would – if I had the 700, I'd play him over this Fannin dude. But
I don't hate it. It's just how often you have in 700.
Exactly. And it probably can go a long way. So, you are probably finding a way to use that 700. But and maybe it's because, like, he's my highest owned guy in best ball, too. So I'm a little biased, Ferguson.
I have a lot of Ferguson.
That is the one position, and this is completely separate from cash. And I didn't start drafting till late, but you could get some quality tight ends very, very late. Like if you didn't get one of those top couple guys, like there was no need to really, obviously, unless you're working in a stack or something like that. But yeah, and you could get those tight ends late, and I just kept jamming.
I mean, the man to get, and it's shame on me. I've been saying he's one of the best in the league for a while. I mean, Tucker Kraft, his role in that offense is, I mean.
And he was another one that was sitting there. He was sitting there very late in those drafts too. Yeah, he's legit. And I mean, honestly, we talked about it on the show yesterday. Really, the only pass catcher you can rely on.
Good about.
Now it's going to change a little bit with Jaden Reed out, but man,
my man Savion too. I didn't really get any. I was cheering against him, but he got PT before the injury. So
that's a good call. And we were right, or at least I was right about the Packers. Packers winning. That team's tough. That is a legitimate football team right there. That is a legitimate football team. When you start Lions Commanders and there really was no competitive football involved whatsoever, they beat the hell out of both of those teams. I mean, beat them.
Give us the Super Bowl now, because the offenses and teams will only start getting better. I mean, the Packers look light years ahead of most of the league right now in just terms of all three phases: special teams, defense, offense, their execution. Like, it's slow for a lot of teams to start. We'll see other teams really get going. Like for Baltimore, Buffalo, like the offenses weren't slow, but the defenses clearly were. Yeah. Packers right now are protecting. They're winning the trenches, giving your quarterback time and not allowing the other quarterback to have time is a good recipe to win football games.
Thank Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Although they would have. I mean, I think they still would have been very, very good without Micah Parsons. I mean, they're still a legitimate team, but
it's different.
Adding him, it's definitely, it's like you always say, there's levels to things, and when you add a guy like Micah Parsons, that's a different level. That is
a motivated one. I mean, you can tell it's fun to watch. His motor does not stop.
Does not. Yeah, very impressive. Over on FanDuel, McBride a little more expensive, $7K. Kelsey 62, Laporta 59. I mean, I think if you're getting in this range, you're just finding a way to get up to McBride at 7K. Come down, Tyler Warren, we talked about, Ferguson 5.2, your buddy Fannin 5K flat. Probably one of these dudes in the low fives, or McBride is kind of what I'm thinking.
My buddy. Yeah, I think it's McBride at 7K. It's still too cheap. I mean, his role is phenomenal against one of the worst teams in football. If you don't have the 7K, 800 less is Travis Kelce. Like, I want to find that 800. I know he got there on the touchdown, but man, he's definitely lost at least a little bit of a step. It's a great game against Philly. I mean, Philly's defense isn't nearly as good as it was last year, but I just feel way better. I look at Trey McBride in a clear level, if not 2 levels above Kelce at this point. And I'm soft pricing. I want to find the 800 if I can, but if I can, he's fine. And then if I can't find the 6,200 for Kelce, I think it's Tyler Warren at 5.5. Like, Fannon's just so cheap at 3-1 on DK, that 5K price tag versus Warren's 5.5. Like, it's not enough of a discount there. So it's one of those three, I think, depending on what you're doing with money.
I guess I didn't realize. I mean, I don't know if it's huge or anything, but like Mark Andrews at 5.7. I don't know. To me, it's like these guys are all. I just like Warren more. Yeah, I think I do too. Straight up at 50, 55. I mean, if I wasn't. if I was not playing McBride and everything else worked out in the lineup and I was in the mid fives, I think I would definitely be clicking Tyler Warren's name at 5.5, and feel pretty damn good about that.
I feel really good about it. He's someone we talked about on the Sunday show. Like, I want to play him. Like, he's regardless of the matchup. Yeah,
very legit. All right, no need to really talk defense. I'll pull it up. I mean, we're trying to go as cheap as possible on most occasions at defense. Let me see if anything stands out as way too cheap. Saints. I mean, 2,500. Probably don't hate that. Cowboys 3K. Probably fine with that. I don't know. Nothing stands out too much here.
No, yeah. I usually I try and get away pretty cheap. 2,500 at home against a backup quarterback. You can do worse. Like, again, if I have money though, or I don't prioritize defense almost ever. There is times like we had last week, week 1, like 2,200. I don't know.
Commanders.
Against a backup quarterback. You just play it. I mean, but we haven't had that situation this year. If you do, I mean, we say it on the show. Like I'll put it in the core if I really think you're making a huge mistake not playing it. But that's not the case this week. Saints 25 is fine.
Yeah, I remember that week 1. I mean, that was just clear lock. You played them. If you didn't, I mean, it didn't make sense. And I remember that. But it's very far and few between where you're actually thinking that way about a defense. And when you are, it's usually about a defense that's just way too cheap and you need to play them because you're going to be able to get upgrades in your lineup.
Exactly. Yep. And then FanDuel, I don't see too much more difference. The one I do see is so you have min price Saints at 3K, which is very fine, but Cowboys for only 400 more get the brutal Russell Wilson coming into town in Jerry's world.
I'd be playing that. I would definitely be playing that. 3,400 Cowboys. Or I mean, I guess Lions. No, I'd do Cowboys over Lions for sure. I don't trust the Lions anymore. So yeah, Cowboys at 34. I would definitely be playing that in cash for sure.
Yeah. And again, if the 4 really goes a long way, I'd be fine with Saints, but I would try and get Cowboys, especially playing Saints on DK.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts?
I just want your thoughts on and I know we'll get it Sunday, a little Ben Johnson taking on Detroit. Any thoughts on that? But no, I got nothing in terms of cash. Good luck, everybody.
I am so low on the Lions, you know that. And I'm shocked that they're favored by, what are they favored by, 6 at this point? Like, and I'm not a huge sports bettor guy. I know all these people that talk fantasy pretend like there's some professional sports bettors, which I can tell you for sure is not the case. I'm not a huge sports betting guy, but I would have to take the Bears there +6. Like, don't trust the Lions at all. Ben Johnson, I think, is far superior to anyone on the Lions coaching staff in terms of coaching. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears win this game. So that's my take. We'll dive deeper Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern start. Me, you, and got a special guest this week. Our guy Ham is filling in, and it's always a good time to talk football with our guy Ham. So he'll be in there Sunday morning, 10 Eastern. In regards to the cash stuff, I don't know, over SHIPITNation.com. We'll have our cores listed for FanDuel and DraftKings. They're updated with any sort of news as well. So get on over SHIPITNation.com. Once you get in, you're part of the Ship It games right here, giving away $80,000 in cash and prizes, and that can only go up, and that is exclusive to people that are Ship It Nation members. So we'd love to have you. But that's going to do it. Good luck to everybody in your cash games. We'll be back next week.